What if I could 100% guarantee that you're going to earn six figures as a life insurance agent? Guys, you and I all know that no one's going to be able to do that. However, I mean guarantee. Yeah, a lot of people are making six figures. Don't take me wrong, but what if I showed you a better way than like what you're probably either doing right now or have at least done in the past? Today, I'm going to share with you the strongest system. Yeah, sounds big. Yeah, it is. The strongest system for selling life insurance in the final expense industry. And I'm going to show you something that you can do right now to completely alter the direction of, well, not only your career, but potentially like your livelihood in a way that, I hate to say it, 90% of professional salespeople will never see. So let's start with liking the video, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe tab. So before I show you the strongest six-figure life insurance sales system in the country, I want to talk about something that most people will never actually grasp. That is the value of an exclusive lead. I know, you're thinking, what are you talking about, Doug? Everybody knows that you get leads to sell life insurance if you want to earn like hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. Yeah, that's true. That's not what I'm talking about. And guys, stick around till the end of the video. I'm going to show you how to get both my objections and rebuttals cheat sheet along with my life insurance carrier niches guide. Allow me to share my perspective. If this is true, and most people get the value of having like exclusive life insurance leads like every single day, right? Then why do most of the agents that I speak with give me an excuse for why they can't afford leads? Is it because they're so incompetent that they can't figure out a way to come up with a couple of $1,000s for a business that could change their life? No. Hold on, that is not the reason. The true objection, the real reason that 90% of life insurance agents can't come up with a couple of $1,000s to get their life insurance business going is because they think deep down inside that it probably won't work. They're not going to be able to close the sales, that they don't have the skill set to turn their lead money into more money, and it's all because of their past experiences and the fact that they basically have brainwashed themselves to not trust themselves enough to go all into their insurance business. They'll tell me that they're an excellent salesperson, but then they'll tell me how they don't have the money. I mean, how can you say you're a good salesperson when you can't even figure out a way to come up with maybe $1,000, $1,500 for your leads? What's the solution? The solution is you do exactly what I did when I was that person who was broke, in debt, about to lose everything. I've been there. Trust me, guys. You change. Here's how. Guys, you just got to do the work. The two books that I'm going to recommend are, first, Introducing NLP by Joseph O'Connor and John Seymour. And after you've worked through the book and completed the tasks and the suggested assignments in that book, then you're going to want to move on and purchase The Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort. When I first got into NLP, everything started to change for me immediately. My perception of how people viewed me completely turned around, and I started getting more and more confident like immediately, like within a couple of days. And within months, my sales numbers like started to skyrocket, and people who normally I would think maybe wouldn't have bought life insurance from me, were not only buying the life insurance from me, but they were buying more than usual and referring me out to their friends and family. If you're not a successful salesperson right now, it's 100%, I guarantee it's not the leads. It's not the training, it's not your upline, it's not the commission levels. It is you that is holding you back. Now that that is behind us, let's talk about the strongest system that I know of for selling life insurance remotely from the luxury of your own home. So if I didn't actually own an insurance agency and I was in the position where I needed to sell, so that I could make, a couple $100,000 per year, what would my system look like? Well, guess what? I've developed it. So let me walk you through it. First, I want at least maybe 10 to 20 appointments on my calendar every single day of people who know that they're going to be getting a quote for the life insurance and speaking with me or at least somebody about the insurance. Second, I know the stood-up rate is going to vary, so I also want at least another maybe 20 to 30 exclusive leads to work every single day. Fresh ones coming in on top of the appointments. Done. I want the clients to see my photo after I fill out the lead form, and I want them to have an option to hit a Call Now tab like right then and there for faster service, of course, which is exactly what the system does. Then I want the AI, the artificial intelligence, and the automations to immediately start to nurture and work each and every single lead. If the client doesn't hit the Call Now tab, or if they don't set the appointment on my calendar, they're going to get an automated text message reminding them how they requested the information but didn't set up an appointment. When they do set the appointment on the calendar, I want them to confirm the appointment through the automated confirmation text that is sent out, basically saying, don't forget, you've got an appointment tomorrow with Doug at 11. Please text yes to confirm. Then, on the day of the appointment, I want them to get a reminder text. That's important too, right? And this is exactly what the system does without me having to do anything. It's like 100% automated. All I gotta do is log into the system each morning, pull up the lead calendar and the appointments calendar, put on a big smile, and hit the dial tab. By taking the lead generation away from the insurance agent and by building out the entire system 100% completely done for you, which is what we do at my agency, it makes it so that the professional salesperson simply has to concentrate on selling and not all the other nonsense. And that's not all. Once the agent closes the sale, the system has automations in place to nurture every new client, to help build the relationship with the client, between the agent and the client over time. So now, when you reach out to them to maybe like remind them that you can also help to add insurance, maybe when you first spoke, they talked about wanting $10,000 but could only afford $7,000. So when you remind them about that, now it's like you and them have been communicating. So the relationship is there and it's going to be a lot easier for them to just do this. Or when you reach out to them and say, hey, by the way, if you've got any questions, Janet, about your Medicare, I am more than happy to answer them for you. There's a certain amount of trust that's there that's not there from probably their Medicare agent. The bottom line is they're going to think of you as that person that was kind enough to actually reach out and wish them a happy birthday, a Merry Christmas, Happy Easter. The automations are pretty cool. And by the way, this system only works if the return on investment makes sense, right? And look, guys, I get it. The last thing that I want to do is pay like a lot of money for leads. I see what these companies are doing, our so-called competitors, selling leads for $30, $40, $50, $60, $80 per lead. That just don't work in this day and age, guys. I don't care how high your commission levels are. It just limits you on how much you can make when you have even, a mediocre or decent commission, but you're paying top dollar for leads. If the ROI isn't there, the ROT, the return on time, is probably not going to be there either. And I know I want my commission levels for my main products. If I have to get in the field or get on the phone and start doing this again, they got to be at least 100, 110%, maybe even 120% like on my first day. And I don't want to have to like jump through a bunch of hoops and earn my way there, right? And I don't want my appointments and my lead costs to be, I want to say a lot more than maybe $10 or so. That's what it's like if you're using the right system. And most important, working with the right people, people that are actually there, that have the experience, that are fully transparent and know what they're doing. Look, here's the bottom line. You can have a system like what I just described, and you can be in the position to earn more money and help more people than like 90% of your competitors. And you can still totally fail unless you admit to your flaws and you're willing to do the work to correct them. When it comes to any type of sales profession, the biggest flaws almost like always end up being those internal flaws that we all have inside of us. And the beautiful thing about these, flaws is that they can be corrected or changed. Again, do the work on yourself. Once you've done this and made true internal and mindset changes, you don't even need a system like mine to be successful. The success is just going to come, trust me. For a copy of the Objections and Rebuttals cheat sheet along with the Carrier Niches Guide that I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the video, just email me at doug@ufesonline.com. For more information on working with us using our remote sales platform, just shoot me an email at that same address. As always, when you put the needs of your clients first, everything else will usually fall right into place. Now get out there and make sure that whatever happens, that you do something good for someone else today. Happy hunting.